Welcome, everybody. This is The Real Deal with me, Larry Lawton. We have us. Benz, of course, is back.
What's up?
But we are sticking with Frank Filiberto, the doctor. And we're hoping he stays to be a permanent kind of guest with us. We hope.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll try. It depends how you abuse me.
You know, I don't know if he's going to work because he was washing his car this morning, and then that got in the way of our taping today.
First of all, this motherfucker, his status in life, he washes his own car.
I got a lot of respect for that.
Yes.
I got a lot of respect for that. That people should learn from that. But let me go before we get into Frank, because that's a whole topic.
Hold on. You said you got a lot of respect for that, but I got to put things into perspective. I asked him why he did it. If he would have said, because I enjoy it, I want to do it for myself. No, he said, because he's saving $100.
No, he didn't say that.
That's what he said. He doesn't want to pay the guy $100. That's why he did it.
Come on. When are you cheap?
I'm not cheap. I like to have quality work
You're
done.
the only man I
And
know
do
who's got
quality
about 1,000 purses worth $2,000.
Yeah,
Don't ask, folks.
I like purses.
Everybody out there. Yes, that's a man, and he has maybe 500 to 1,000 purses. Whatever.
That sometimes he gives out.
Yeah. What do you do? Do you like lay naked on a bunch of purses and shit? What the? Everybody's got their freak, and I'm all right with that.
First of all, he don't call them purses. He calls them pocketbooks.
Pocketbooks to me.
Okay. Before we get with Frank, we got to get going, guys. First of all, everybody, I want to thank you all for the great wishes. I was off Monday. I was pretty sick. I had food poisoning. And it was pretty fucked me up. I'm not kidding. I'm still, to this day, Ben said, it's still hitting you a little bit, right? You saw it this morning. The food poison, like my stomach is not right.
Your wrinkles look deeper.
Wow. Now, listen, a lot of fans actually said, look at him, look. A lot of fans actually said, when are you going to tell that fucker to shut the fuck up? Shut the fuck up.
Thank you.
No, listen, guys. We got a lot going on. Let me update everybody.
So, Larry, you weren't feeling good. You feeling better now?
Yes, I'm feeling a lot better.
You shitting solids?
So.
You know what you should do to stop that?
What's that?
Put one of your butt plugs.
Butt plug. Perfect.
Well, I did.
It's literally for that.
I did.
Right?
That's what happens, and when it comes out, it's just it's like a fucking flood.
I was also sick on Monday. I feel better.
You were sick.
The shits.
It was funny because we both walked in there.
We looked at each other and we're like, "Oh fuck this!"
We can't do it.
I got a story to top that.
Wait, hold on. Let me just start.
I was here with you, right?
When?
Sunday.
Yes.
Tuesday, I had the problem in the middle of surgery.
Are you kidding me?
I had the problem in the middle of surgery. I didn't make it to the bathroom.
You shit your pants.
I had to go into the shower with my pants on. I got it from you. Oh, my God.
That is what happens when you get the 77, 78?
It exploded.
Really?
You shit your pants in the middle of surgery?
Middle of surgery. I had to stop the surgery halfway through. All right?
You got to go take a shit.
No. I jumped in the shower with my pants on. They were totally covered.
Oh, my God. The smell must have been just disgusting. People, don't go to this.
My shit doesn't smell.
Yeah, okay. Are you kidding me? What happened to the patient? How long did the patient have to wait? I mean, was it okay?
Probably about 15, 20 minutes. See, I showered with the pants on, took the pants off, hung them up, and got another pair.
The patient's fucking slit open. There's nothing they can do. They could just wait.
Only half her face.
Half her face was folded over. Why? Let me ask you something real quick while we're on the subject.
And then we digress.
I will digress for a second. Why is that you motherfuckers, whenever you cut into somebody's face, I watched the video on YouTube, why do you fold it over? Why can't you just leave it to flap on? Why do you fucking want to see the nasty?
Well, you fold it over so you can go deeper and look at the blood vessels underneath because you had to cauterize all the blood vessels. If you keep it down, then you got to look like you're looking in the tunnel, to correct all the problems underneath.
Doesn't that fuck your face up when you put it back?
No.
It did me. Look.
Do you know what?
The wrinkles.
Yeah, the wrinkles.
The wrinkles is because of him. You know what? You ever seen those fucking videos? This is amazing.
Listen, no, and I'll never go to him again.
Not him. They all fucking do it.
We'll tell why, everybody, in a minute.
They cut your face open for whatever reason they're doing it. Whether they're giving you an eye lift, whatever. I don't know what the fucking terms are. They cut you open. Then they open you like a fucking book.
Oh, no. Listen, I've watched many surgeries.
Oh, yeah. You're an expert on it. You
Googled it 5 minutes ago.
Googled it 5 minutes ago. Is that what you did? You're a jailhouse lawyer. Now you're a homespun doctor.
Homespun, I like that. Huh? You came up with that pretty quick. Anyways,
I hope you two can carry the show when I leave.
Where you going?
I'm getting up and going soon.
You are.
So this is the Talk Shit After Show with
This
Benz
is the
and
talk
Frank.
with the after because that's all they do is talk shit. I mean, I have substance to tell my audience, and I mean this.
Yeah.
And you got it. We got the cruise coming up. And let me explain to everybody who's going on the cruise. First of all, if you are going on the cruise on November 18th at the Liberty out of Port Canaveral, it's a 3-day cruise. It is a party time. The list is growing.
The list is huge now. I think we're going to be, right now, as far as my count is, we're about 15 strong.
Okay. Now, and I think it's going to get bigger. Let me tell you what's happening. First of all, what I want to let everybody know, we're buying T-shirts. The show here is going to be buying T-shirts for everybody on the show. So here's what we need you to do. If you are going on this cruise, we need you to book your cruise and get with us immediately. Email Benz.
Right.
Immediately.
Here's what you do. Do exactly what I've been telling everybody to do, and it's worked out so far. Send me the confirmation of your booking from wherever it is you booked it. And then also send me your shirt size and the person that's going to be in the room with you shirt size, because we're going to be ordering shirts for everybody.
Right.
So I already have the majority of them. I'm waiting for 2 shirt sizes. And you're not going, are you?
No,
No, are you coming? Oh, they'd love to see you.
I'm not going.
Is it too young?
I don't like being unstable.
Is it too young? No, I just wonder. Really, is it too young? I mean, this is kind of a cruise for younger people.
Don't make up the bullshit. Tell him why you're not going.
I don't know.
Oh, I know why he's not going.
His wife's having a fucking party. You don't want to
his
miss
wife's
that.
having some like what is that? Like a fucking square dance party, some shit.
A Studio 54 party.
It's a disco.
Oh, a disco. You know, nobody in this audience knows what the fuck disco is.
Do they know who Studio 54 is?
Absolutely not.
No.
They're going to be just like you. They'll Google. They'll know about
Then
it.
they'll be good.
Surprisingly enough, though, the guy that won the cruise,
He's 58.
He's 58 years old. What the
Yeah.
fuck are the odds of that? He's 1% of our listeners, and he wins the fucking thing.
He is higher than 1%, but yeah, I'll tell
Higher
you.
than 1%. There's more than. Do you want to tell me there's 60-year-olds who listen to us?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Who?
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot.
Who?
Our friends alone,
Hey.
whether it's Larry Cha-Cha or somebody like that.
Our lunch crew, that's more than 15 people going on the cruise.
None of them are going.
Right.
Still more than 15.
No,
on
what
lunch
he's
crew.
trying to say, we do have a little older listener. But listen, so what we need you to do is make sure you do that so you're not left out, because we're going to have pictures. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff when we go on the cruise. We're going to have one night that's going to be like a terrorize the ship night. And I don't mean that really.
Terrorize the ship. You watch your fucking your terms here, buddy.
I know. I'm already in trouble with the vice president. So, anyway, so we have that going on. And I'll tell you what, I'm so excited to meet everybody that's going on the ship, especially the guy, the winner. I mean, he seems nice. I sent him his tickets already. He's got his round trip airfare right into Melbourne Airport from Atlanta.
Paul Latta.
Paul Latta and I forget her name.
I don't know if
already.
she wants her name blasted.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, you're right. John Smith.
Shit, Jane Doe.
Jane Doe. No, so I'm excited to meet everybody. We're going to have a couple of things we're going to do. We're trying to come up with a couple of kind of events or something where we're going to do. I'm going to be going to dinner every night. And obviously we're going to have a table, and I'm going to grab different people every night or when I go to dinner. And so we all can rap and talk about stories and everything else. So the ship's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not bringing books. I'm letting everybody know that. So people already asked me, are you going to bring books to sign books there?
Who's
Maybe I should bring a few.
Hold on. Who's picking us up from the port? They can bring some fucking books. You give it to them on the way out, so you don't have to fucking carry that shit with you.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, or we bring them on the ship. Let's show everybody we're on the ship.
They'll know we're on the ship.
Oh, they're gonna know we're on the fucking ship.
We're gonna make a mark for sure.
I think we will. So anyway, we're gonna have a great time on that cruise. We're all anticipating it now. And this, let everybody know why we're doing this. I did this to really pre-launch the cigars. Now the cigars on the 24th are on the way here from Nicaragua.
24th is my birthday.
Yeah, which is a couple days, 2 days,
That,
3 days.
3
Today's
days,
the 21st. And so we're going to have the ship in here. Now, Benz gave me, we talked about this before the show, first orders in or first orders out. Is that correct again?
Yeah, it will be shipped by the order. We got the orders, yeah.
Right. So if you ordered I know one of my friends just said hey Larry, I ordered a box or something. I don't know what he did. Somebody from Cleveland or Oklahoma.
I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention.
I don't know either. So anyway, your order will be there. We will be bringing cigars. That we're gonna have cigars on the ship for sure. I don't know if you could smoke anywhere on that ship. Do you know?
Yeah, you can smoke, but it's outside.
Well, there's probably
smoking sections like anywhere else.
Smoking lounges?
No, so you got to go like Disney or Celebrity for that.
They don't have like one of the lounges like that on Royal Caribbean?
No, don't. This isn't Royal Caribbean. This is
Carnival. Yeah, I know which it is. I booked it.
Yeah, that's true. you should know technically.
Yeah, I know.
But no,
it's on my credit card.
Anyways.
Yeah. So anyway, there's no smoking lounge.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, there's no indoor smoking lounges.
Every time I've been on a lounge, there was always a cigar.
Yeah, but you haven't been on a cruise since I was a little kid.
No,
when was the last time you've been on a cruise? Really?
I forgot.
Before or after you were in jail?
I forgot. There we go. Wow. We can open that
Oh, right.
What's this about Ben Zach? What is it?
That was a good one. Now, okay, listen. So now we got the cigars coming. We got this. I also want to make a shout out. I'll tell you what. I'm wearing a shirt today, everybody. And if you listen to it, that's one thing. Check the shirt out. If you go to the YouTube show, and it is called Frank. We want to read my shirt.
Fire Island Motel, Kismet, New York. That just tells me you didn't have a boat because Kismet is the only place on Fire Island you go by car.
Gotcha.
And he's wrong. But okay.
Well, no, it's true. Kismet, you go over the Captree Parkway, Captree Bridge. In fact, it's called Robert Moses Bridge. You go over that, and you go to Kismet. Now, the people that can afford it take a boat to like the Pines or Cherry Grove or other places. But Kismet is a place where your listeners probably would go there because of that age.
Okay, now
is he wrong? Is that
I'm just going to straighten this out because I have Lisa Casera. Lisa Casera Hewitt's was on the phone and we'll call her. Actually,
and she's not from Kismet. I've been to
where is she from?
Kismet is.
Where is she from?
She's from like Ocean Town, Ocean City, something like that.
You know where Ocean City is to our house?
I'm not talking about New Jersey.
I said, I know what you're saying, Oceanside. But where is she from?
She's from an island that you can get to on the island.
See? Oh, that shit just, man, I feel like my ass just opened up. First of all.
Anybody that's up there knows that Kismet, all right, is the part that Robert Moses Causeway goes over to the island.
Please.
It's the only place you can get to on the island by car.
I really am doing something here. First of all, it was wrong. They're from Fair Harbor. You walk to Kismet from Fair Harbor. Billy,
you can walk to it, but you get to Kismet by car.
You can get to anywhere by car.
You can't. You cannot get anywhere by car.
Would you like to make a side bet on that?
$100.
How about a
$100?
$100 side bet. You cannot get to any place but Kismet by car. You have to take one of those dune buggies to get to Kismet from where she's from.
Wrong. Is that a bet? $100?
Yes. Got
it. You heard it. Everybody's going to hear it, and I'm going to announce that next show, the $100. Guarantee you could drop.
Payout's got to be on the show.
Payout on the show.
I want to be paid in a $100 bill. I don't want any like 520s or.
Yeah, come on.
So
listen, let me tell you something.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to do something.
I know. Yeah, we're trying to do a show here, but
I'm trying to do something. Go ahead.
Well, I know you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You guys just argued about nothing. I just want to tell you,
Nothing.
if he wins the $100, maybe next time he doesn't have to wash his car. Go ahead.
Yeah, good point. Very good. You know, that was worth it.
So I thought you'd like that.
Anyway, lady, this isn't Kismet. That's a buddy of mine, Dan, and he's a good friend of Billy and Lisa's and everybody. He's the manager of the place. He's all over the place. He's one of the best managers I ever saw. Helps us out whenever we're there. Knows everything about Fire Island you could possibly imagine. And he runs that hotel on Kismet. And he's a great guy. And I want to thank him for the shirt. And I love it. Fits good. And the first thing you said to me when you saw me in the shirt, come on, say it.
You lost some weight, motherfucker.
I look good. You said I look good. You didn't just say I lost weight. You said you look good.
I mean, that's what I meant when I said you look good. I didn't say you're magically becoming better looking.
Please don't open your mouth.
You look at him, he can't help it. Go ahead.
You know, people got to go to the fucking. When Frank is on our show, stop. When you got to learn one thing about podcasts or any kind of radio or TV. I know you don't do that. Is when one talks, the other can't talk. Otherwise, it's jaw. It's
true.
It's all over the place.
But you never come up for air. How am I going to get a chance?
That's okay. That's why it's called the Larry Lawton, the real deal with Larry Lawton.
Larry Lawton and friends.
I didn't see the friends there yet.
I like these next
We're gonna add it with a
Fire
Sharpie.
Island. I like these next Fire Island. I've been going to Fire Island before he was a dream in his mother. I've been going to Fire Island that long.
That might be
I
true
believe
because
that. Yeah,
you know why I do believe that. Well, I don't know because his family was so rich Fire Island is the rich, but their family was like the rich.
We weren't rich. We picked up the garbage. We were garbage people. We were blue collar workers.
Now, he might have actually been there just because he's so old.
Weren't you guys there together at one point?
Yeah, and you should have seen. I got to tell.
Don't talk about me.
I got to tell some story. I got so many stories about Frank.
Are we going to move over the show? Or are you going to talk about me?
All of a sudden, he wants to move the show. I like that.
Everybody will check that out. No, but anyway, thank you, Dan. Again, Dan runs the Botel Hotel in Kismet, and if you check it out, man, it's really cool. It's like a really eclectic place. It's really nice, and you check it out.
Yeah, you can get there by car. You don't have to go by boat.
First of all, you can't get there by car.
Kismet, you get there by car.
Okay, you only
$100. I want to see this.
You can get anywhere if they let you. That's number one.
True.
That's number one.
Wait, is there a road that leads there? Or you got to take a ferry.
No.
No, there's the Moses Bridge. He's right. Yeah. But what he's wrong about, he goes, you only can get to Kismet.
That's right.
You can go to Fair Harbor.
You can't get to Fair Harbor by car. You got to go to Kismet and take a dune buggy to Fair Harbor.
Okay, it's $100 Monday.
A dune buggy is a car.
No.
I'll even take it. You can go on a concrete.
Fair Harbor by car.
Hold on, you can go on.
There's no road there.
There's no road.
Here's the bet.
There's no roads allowed. In fact, at Kismet, they actually block you off to go to the rest of the island.
Kismet, good one.
Kismet, right there.
Kismet.
Kismet.
He's wrong.
Define the bet. Define the bet.
First of all, you could take a car on a concrete road.
That's how long it's been since you've been there, man. They built the
You're not
road.
allowed to go beyond Kismet, to go to Fair Harbor.
You can't go to Kismet at certain times either.
You go to Kismet. Go to Robert Mosher. You're right there. I just go there. I just go there once a week.
Okay.
Come on.
What year?
What?
1972.
19-something.
19-something.
Yeah. Put it this way.
Broad range.
I can only guarantee one thing. And I'm pretty.
From 65 to 69, I was there once a week.
I'm just going to say this. Here's
a lot has changed, Frank.
Yeah. Here's the thing I'm going to say. I don't guarantee much, but I will guarantee that nobody listening to this show was born when you went there.
Except the guy who won the fucking cruise.
Now he's born at 60.
58.
Okay, so he's born at 65.
Yeah, and he said 65 to 69.
He may have been there with his mother. Who knows?
He may have been there with his mother. The guy, he's from New York.
She was rocking him.
He should come on the fucking cruise so Paul can deck him.
Yeah, I got to deck him before we go, so I tell Paul we just leave it.
Oh, at least I got him.
Are we going to get off me and deal with the show?
No, first of all, anyway, so I want to thank Dan again. Let's get that done. Secondly, we got a couple of people called in, and you know this. We had a bunch of emails and mail about not only the cigar, about where we're going with the guests we got coming up. Well, I have a Randy Fine coming on next Friday. Randy Fine is a politician in this area, and he says it like it is. Listen, you might not like Randy Fine.
I love Randy Fine.
Thank you.
Don't even hint that.
Okay, I'm anybody I'm talking about.
Don't put words in my mouth. Go ahead.
You will not be here next Friday. That I can tell you.
I will give you the $100 if I owe you.
No, it's next Monday. You give me the
$100. He's not going to wait that long.
Yeah, no, Monday.
Oh, I come here for the news. I forgot.
You do know.
Did he just admit that he has to pay you?
Yeah.
Did he just admit defeat?
Of course,
I think you did.
I didn't admit defeat.
Hey, it's on the tape.
Hey, Benz, guaranteed. And you're going to take the picture, definitely, and videos.
Yeah.
We're going to start doing that. A lot of people have been asking us that too. Yes, we're going to be. I'm doing a couple of different kind of videos, a couple of different stuff, and we're going to be doing some on the road stuff. Benz and I
been teasing that for a long time.
Well, we're doing it now. We're going down south. I have
you go to Vero Beach.
My right hand man back in the day when I was a criminal, Tommy, is going to be on the show, and that's going to be a great show. He knows where the bodies are buried. Right. So Tommy's a great guy to this day. So we are going to do a few shows on the road. We are also doing a racetrack show. Benz is very into cars, and we are going to a racetrack with Ferraris and whatever they are. They bring up there, and we're going to be their guests.
I'm glad you mentioned real cars because he's into cars, but he doesn't have a real car.
Okay, what's a real car?
A real car is sort of a
that was fucking good. Very good. You're on fire today.
Don't fuck with the board, baby.
He's
All right, go ahead. What's your definition of a real car?
That's fine. There's a wow factor to a real car.
All right.
He basically drives. You remember when we were when I was a kid, we used to go soapbox derby. We used to have these square-looking things that made out of wood and so forth.
I was before my time.
He basically has one of those. It's like a square little car that was built probably. That car was built probably in 1969, 70 when it came out in 2000.
Can he bullshit any straighter face?
And they use the same
Look at his face. Everybody, you gotta see this fucking guy's face. Look at his.
No, hold on.
Listen, I quit. I'm done. I saw it all.
Hold on.
They use the same. Wait, let me finish. They use the same body. All right. Back then we called them a shit box. So today they come out. All right. They come out with them and they put special emblems on them. Now they're a special car. They're high performance. Meanwhile, he goes from super luxury to incredible sports car to soapbox derby.
Well,
that's what we went to.
Where do I stand in all this car shit? I had a fucking garbage car, another garbage car, Honda, fucking what? I'm not into that. I don't have to keep up with you.
You don't have to keep up with anybody, but you have a wreck set car.
Let's put things into perspective.
I do.
Frank doesn't keep up. He doesn't need to keep up.
No.
You don't. Because you could buy cars above the ones you already have, and you have some nice cars to begin with.
Wait a minute.
He's got the fastest car I've ever driven.
Hold on. He might have the fastest car, but his car's worth more than his house.
That's true.
If not, if you had the condo and this and that.
I didn't say the condo. Where he lives, his main address, where his driver's license is.
$4 million, what, $3-point-something million? Can I say that on the air? Am I allowed? I don't know.
No, I said the house, not the property.
The house is on the property, baby.
If you think that house, first put it this way. Frank had his car repaired. He has an NSX. The guy brought it back from Vero Beach, and he brought it onto the property. He goes, now Frank was on a tractor out in the field and comes on in. He sees the guy, and the guy goes, do you know this car is worth more than your house?
But I told him the advantage I have of my house, all I have to do is put wheels on it.
No, it has wheels.
I can move whenever I want.
No, it has wheels.
No, right now it's on stilts.
Right now it's on stilts.
Oh. Yeah. Now listen, I want to, wait, let me emphasize what I'm going to say right now. I am not knocking a trailer. Because first of all, my brother has one.
And your girlfriend has one.
My girl, I don't have a girlfriend. People I know have them. Trailers.
The fucking stabs.
Yeah. So I totally, listen to me. You want the truth? There's two decisions I made in the last few days. And I'm going to tell the audience. I take care of my mom. Everybody knows that. She's 90 years old. When my mom passes, which it maybe 10 years, I'll probably die before.
I think she should outlive all of us.
I think you're right. You saw her the other day.
She does. I love you, Bob.
Did you see her the other day?
Yeah, I love you,
She's
Bob.
a fucking sweetheart.
Yeah.
And if anybody deserves to outlive all of us, it's her.
What? What?
That's because can she hear now?
Here.
Well, I
don't think she heard a word I was saying when she was in the office.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So and anyway, when she passes, what's Larry going to do? Is he going to take the house, or is he going to, they're going to get rid of it and move somewhere else? I think I'm going to buy a trailer.
Why?
I don't know. Something about my brother's house that I love.
Yeah.
I love going there, sitting in that house. I swear to God, it's the fucking weirdest feeling. Maybe it's because I was in prison for so long and I lived in a prison cell. I like this, I guess, the smallness of it. Listen, all of our friends are very wealthy and they have very big houses. And I can go into the millions and the square footage of 10,000, right? Yeah. 10,000 square feet and all this.
One of them specifically has 16,000 square feet.
16?
I'm not gonna say his name, but
16,000 square feet.
Oh yeah, and you know what? That's not even the biggest. That's just the one that just came to mind.
Okay,
That's
how many kids does he have? How many kids does he have?
None that are in the house.
I know he is. But put it this way, and God bless him. And if that's what turns them on, great. I just like the I guess it's the feeling of the comfort. If I don't know what it is, and I really mean that. And people are going to go, Larry, are you really going to buy a trailer? It's either that, or I'm going to look at some acreage. and buy acreage and build something.
So you
on it.
bust your balls and then immediately says, I would do the same exact thing you do.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Well, I'm only busting his chops because he's the big boss now.
You know, I think
he's the high wheeler. He's the one with 7 cars. How many cars do you have?
A couple.
7.
7.
But that doesn't make any difference. I know why.
How many vehicles with wheels do you have?
I know you want a trailer. Only because you are the type of person that likes to have stimulation, right? You can't go off in a big house and jerk off and have somebody hear you. You want somebody to hear you. So you have to be close to
No, I live
everybody.
alone, Frank.
Yeah, but that's why you want a trailer.
No, they can't. They can't.
When you have guests.
You see,
Thin walls.
You really forgot something. I do have a 38-foot RV that I travel all around. That's what I'm going to do. That's why I think I'm going to buy the trailer and then have that and travel the world.
Is that the one the back is falling off of?
You the one? Oh,
back is falling
who did that?
Benzak.
Yeah, my fault.
Well, you were part of that crew.
Fuck out of here. I'm not even going to go through that argument again.
We're going to put up a picture of that.
It doesn't matter. Damage is there. I'm not denying that. I'm denying my involvement.
Listen, I get paid by the hour. I've been here a long time.
Where's my guitar?
First of all, are we going to stop the bullshit and you get to any agenda, or should I just? What do you want me to do? Be quiet right now?
You know, I want to mention something since there is no agenda.
No, there is an agenda, and I want to get to it. If somebody would let me without this fucking moron, listen, we're going to take a survey.
You got spit all over your face. You're so mad.
I am.
Go ahead,
motherfucker.
Do it again. The more you rub your face, it softens up the lines.
So I before we started,
how do you know? Oh, you're a plastic surgeon?
Yeah.
Before we started the show, I dropped the cigar on the floor and it cracked pretty bad. I didn't think it was going to smoke. It's cracked still, but it's smoking perfect.
You know, and thank you again, Oliva.
Yeah.
Oliva is our sponsor on the
Oliva
show.
Serie
And
O.
a Serie
And cigar is great.
And I'm this Serie G.
And you know,
Oliva.
I like the other ones. The ones that came out September 1st. The Crooked Diamonds.
September.
They're very good.
You've had some. You actually did have them. You smoked more Crooked Diamonds than the majority of people.
He was one of the guys. See, that's
you and I probably smoked the most, but he's
you know what's
third.
funny about that? You know, he used to come by the house all the time, and we sit out front and smoke a cigar. Once the cigar's dried up, ain't seen Frank fucking since. What kind of friend is that motherfucker?
Well, it tells you everything you got to know.
How many boxes did you buy?
How many bucks did I bring you here?
I just asked you, how many did you buy?
When?
Crooked Diamonds.
No, when? How many boxes of Crooked Diamond did you buy?
I haven't seen any yet.
Did you order any?
What do I have to buy them for? I get him here.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here. He wants free cigars. I was going to say something, and I thank God I did.
Jump to the agenda,
Okay,
Larry.
the agenda today.
There's no agenda.
There is an agenda.
You're going to find out if you let him talk.
There really is an agenda. And the agenda is, and I had a couple of talks with people online about it, is voting, young people voting. And we are in voting season. We're coming up in a couple of weeks for voting. Let me tell somebody exactly what scared me. The state of Florida actually arrested people who they sent ballots to, ex-felons, that were still not eligible to vote. And the only reason they were not eligible to vote was because they didn't pay their fine or they didn't pay their restitution.
Tell the listeners the law, because not everybody's in Florida.
Okay, yeah. How it works is this. In the state of Florida, they passed the constituents, the people passed a referendum to allow convicted felons, after they complete their sentence, to be eligible to vote. Well, the administration here threw in a caveat that completing your sentence means everything, meaning if you have $1 million restitution, you have to pay that. If you have a $10 million restitution, you have to pay that, right, or a fine. So what you're really doing, and it's, you know, it's called debtor's prison.
Right.
There's a legal term for it, and they're not supposed to do that.
It also creates an extra caveat. If they want to stop you from voting, they can do that.
Right. All they have to do is put a fine that's big enough that they know you can't do.
Right.
Or how about putting a ticket or some kind of thing on anybody?
Open investigation.
An open investigation with a money number on it, and now all of a sudden that happens. Your attention span is worse than my cousin Carol's first grade class. Unbelievable.
Why? What am I doing now?
Unbelievable.
Was there a fly or something?
Did you see him?
I saw that.
You have really a mental
Because
problem.
I don't agree with the whole conversation.
Oh,
First of
okay.
all,
The conversation. You
Hold
don't
on,
believe in
hold
the
on.
voting?
No, I'm the other extreme. I don't think anybody in this country should ever lose their rights to vote.
You
What if
think
you're in
anybody-
prison?
What if you're in prison?
You should have the right to vote.
Well, then what do you say about a town that has 1,000 people in it, but there's 3,000 inmates in the jail? Are they supposed to pick the
Local-
town council,
right.
the local people of that area?
No,
Based
I think-
on the jail that they don't even.
I think it's based on your position of origination. If you're from New York and you lived in New York, the majority of your
I
life,
see what you're
you
saying.
vote in that certain district. I don't think that anybody in this country should lose the right to vote because, right, people in prison, all right, they get hurt more than anybody else because nobody cares about them in there. At least they can change legislation by being in prison and being able to vote. The people in prison, they don't only lose their right to guns and lose their right to freedom and so forth, they lose the most inalienable right we have in this country. One of the four founding fathers is a right to vote. And we have,
Frank, I got it. I'm going to push back.
We have legislators
Get to your point.
We have legislators in this country that are passing laws, right, hurting people in prison. Right, that should not be the case. The people in prison should have the right to vote.
Okay, you said your piece. Now I'm going to say mine as a convicted felon, although you are too.
Although I am.
But I can't. I don't even count it. I mean, you did so. I think I did more shit time. I think I fucking had diarrhea longer than he was in fucking prison. the
Best 4 months of my life.
Best 4 months of his life, ladies. That's what he just said.
You know what that really says? What kind of fucking life is this guy leading? If I heard that on a podcast, I'd say, what loser is
As
this
rich
fucking
as he
man?
was, I heard the story before. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? I said to him, as rich as he was, he said, my parents never let me go to summer camp.
They never let me go to summer
That's
camp.
why?
When you saw the prison he went to, that's fucking summer camp. He was playing golf every day.
Remember, Barbara Walters did an expose on it called Club Fed.
That's where he went.
You know, I'm going to
Go
call
ahead.
bullshit everything you're saying.
Well, you don't know what you're talking about.
You're right. I
Because
have not a clue what I'm talking about.
Unfortunately, I
when it
support
comes to prison.
Yeah, not a clue.
I support. I've never been to that type of prison. Thank God. I was threatened if you step out of line to go to that type of prison. But the federal prisons in this country, the club prisons, you know what I'm talking about, the camps, all right? For somebody that never had anything in life, or somebody that had something in life but had certain restrictions, right? They are a luxury place to go. It's really luxury.
Let me explain something right now, and you're really giving a bad read on any prison. No prison is luxury. I don't give a fuck if it's a camp or if it's a penitentiary. There's nothing luxurious about losing your family. Number one. Number two, it's not what you're saying. It's not like, oh, they're fucking out a waiter and all this shit, and they go to dinners and all the kind of crap. I mean, in
Or
that
did you?
regard.
Close to it.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, Larry, let's put things into perspective. You only did 4 months. When you only do 4 months.
He don't even know what the time is.
Exactly. Now, you can go to any camp. I don't care what it is. It could have the dinners. It can have massages on a daily basis, but you don't get to see your family.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And you do that for fucking 10 years, then all of a sudden it doesn't seem as good as it is.
Well, what I said, people misconstrue what prison is about. Prison is about separation from loved ones.
No, it's not. What prison is about is rehabilitation. And do we have rehabilitation? No. We don't rehabilitate
Frank.
prisoners, unfortunately.
So I don't fuck up the audience. He really has not a clue. In the fucking book, it doesn't say rehabilitation. There's nothing it says.
But it is supposed to be. We push for
I
that.
just said that. We push it, we want it,
Right.
and we believe in it, but it doesn't say it.
It's not part of the charter.
It's actually in the book and the sentencing, it's punishment. Punishment is the first word. Punishment. So
and
it's
that
not
punishment is being away from your family.
obviously, but my point is, it doesn't say yes. Do I think we need rehabilitation? Of course, I don't think anybody. I'm a biggest advocate of rehabilitation because that person's coming out into society and going to live next to somebody.
Well, I don't think you'll find a politician in this world, or anybody from DOJ, that would say, all right, that prison is punitive. They will all say prison is rehabilitative. Now, does it wind up being punitive? Yes, because you got assholes, all right, that run the prison, and you know as well as I do, all right. Once you move out of the justice system, and the Bureau of Prisons gets a hold of you, all right, they're an island in themselves, and nobody can tell them what to do. That's the problem we have. That's the problem we have with the system. The judicial system is taking your rights, not taking.
You keep rambling. You talk about me. Stop. First of all, let's get back to the one topic, the voting topic. I disagree with him, even as a man who's a very big advocate for prisoner rights and prisoner voting rights when you are out of prison. Now, the reason I say that, now there's states, Vermont has prisoners can vote in Vermont and a couple other states.
I'll push back on the fact that I agree with him. If you're in prison and you have a let's call it a homestead, for lack of a better term, you should be able to vote under that homestead as long as you're in prison.
I disagree.
Why?
I'll tell you why. First of all, what you lose when you lose your voting rights is representation.
You shouldn't lose your voting rights.
You lose representation. That's
right.
true.
It's called taxation without representation. That's a big thing.
That's for taxes, but you lose all representation across the board.
Exactly.
You couldn't get Kamala Harris out of fucking office, even though she's fucking people in prison.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So what my point is, you as a prisoner, like you just said where you're at. If you, Zach, is from Benz is from. Let's just take New York State. Let's just give a state like that. You're from Albany, but they have you housed in, I don't know, West Point. Now, that is, you know how far that is away from each other. Now, should you vote on state issues? Should you vote on local issues? What should you do?
Everything.
Get the same ballot that everybody from Albany gets. The same ballot, just as we have mail-in ballots all over the place. You get the same ballot that people get from Albany sent to you. That's the way it works. I disagree. Do you know what the Constitution is?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. I know by tomorrow you'll be an expert on the Constitution. You tell me what inalienable rights mean. Tell me what inalienable rights mean.
I want you to give me the definition of inalienable.
Define it.
To me, inalienable rights...
to me? No, I didn't ask you. To you. What does inalienable mean?
Inalienable rights means to me is that you have a right that nobody's going to take away from you, all right, as far as the Constitution, which they mention in the Constitution. The inalienable right in the Constitution is the right to vote, all right? Nobody should lose their voting privileges. Nobody.
Frank, first of all, let's stop this right now.
You Googling it now?
No, I don't have to. Let me ask you a question.
I don't have to. He said I love it.
I don't have to. Is the Constitution, is that your inalienable rights, the Constitution?
We live by the Constitution.
Is that your inalienable rights?
It's in the Constitution.
Yeah, why can't I have a gun?
What? The gun?
He got real fucking quiet.
Hey, that's a good question.
No, nobody said that. That's why
it's my inalienable right.
That's why the Second Amendment.
In prison, why can't I have a gun?
That's why the Second
in prison.
He's talking about voting in prison. Well,
voting in prison is different than having a gun in prison. Voting in prison doesn't give you a tool.
You can't come with a blanket statement and say inalienable rights, all my rights, and inalienable, and that means nobody can take them away. It's not true.
You twisted this where it sounds like bullshit because what happens is I'm a prisoner. All right, I have state representatives in my state, all right, that are voting on my rights, all right, voting on my rights. They can pass laws that
they do every day.
You can't jerk off in prison, all right. They can pass those laws.
Absolutely.
All right, they shouldn't be able to pass their laws.
They never did.
Without you voting on it. But I'm just using that as an example.
But you know, Frank, if you're in West Point, whatever he said, and you're from Albany, and they're changing a law in Albany that would change your sentence, you should be able to vote for it.
You should be able for anything that's on the Albany ballot, all right? Whether it's local representatives.
I agree with that, Larry. I don't see why.
You do get newspapers in prison. You get them. You're in touch with everything you want to go. Listen, it's no different than here. Somebody moves into where we are today. Can I say where we are today?
Yeah, Palm Bay.
Somebody moves into where we are today in Palm Bay, Florida. They come from New York. They're here 6 months. They get a ballot, all right? Do you think they know who the state reps are and who the local council people are? But they're voting on them here. That's a travesty. I mean, they're voting on people they don't even know they're voting for, right? How many times have you filled out ballots for other people that didn't know what was going on?
Ooh.
You know what happens. It happens.
He hasn't done it, though.
Maybe he probably hasn't, but some people do that. What I'm saying is that you can't, it's an inalienable right. Now, when you talk about guns, that's a terrible, terrible analogy, right?
Why?
Because
guns and voting, how can you put them in the same basket?
See, what you're doing is you're cherry picking.
No, you're not.
And that's what we did when we took away rights from inmates. Don't get me wrong. I am for humane conditions, rehabilitation, but I am not for. You want to talk about jury? You want to talk about gerrymandering? What's he doing?
Take your headphones off. Take your
headphones
off,
please.
He almost walked away with them.
No, he did.
I should have let him.
Oh,
go.
you should have fucking let him.
I know.
Yeah, it cost me money.
You know how many prisoners are in the United States?
2.3 million.
Huh?
2.3 million.
How big of a change would that make to, let's say, the federal elections only?
We don't know because a lot of people think some more will be Democrat, but that's not true.
Doesn't matter what they are.
It does.
Assuming all prisoners voted the same.
Right.
It's 2 million people. That's pretty strong.
2.3 million. Very strong.
So you should give them the right to vote.
Let me stop you. And why not? And I'm gonna tell you why not. If you give if the people, here's why things do change, and you don't hear people really saying we need to build more prisons. This is the reason. They've done a study, not my study, of course, about now it's about 6 years ago, and the study was how many votes does an inmate conjure up? How many votes does he, the people support him, will do? So meaning this, Larry Lawton went to prison, and Larry Lawton has, at the time, had 4 brothers and sisters, parents, grandparents, everybody who was alive, and friends.
They'd vote in your favor.
Right. So if you were a politician and you came out and said, I want to make hard prisons, you're going to lose 20 votes from Larry Lawton, technically. Now, there's a lot of people in prison, usually illegal aliens.
That's a horrible argument. That's a horrible argument. You got to stop you now. It's a horrible.
No, you don't got to stop me. You have
20 family. How many
people?
People in prison don't have any family members? How many people are
A zillion of them.
Right. So you'd say
No,
you're saying
you didn't even let me get to the point. Frank, for real, stop the fucking bullshit. Stop the bullshit. And I mean this. Now you're not even letting me fucking finish a point.
I love this.
I mean this. Wait a minute. Now it's getting stupid, though.
Go ahead.
It's getting stupid.
Finish your point.
What my point was, they have done the study that every inmate equates to 4 votes. Larry might have 20, but an illegal alien has none, and there's more illegal aliens, whatever. They did it to 4 votes. Each inmate equates to 4 votes.
Okay. On average.
On average. Now, that's 2.3 million, so that's 9 million votes that can be swayed one way or the other. That's the reason things are changing, and that's the reason you are seeing.
Good point.
It's a horrible point.
No, it's a good point. I'll explain. You're not, if you're not seeing this, the idea he's saying is they don't only need the 2 million votes, they have 9 million votes supporting them. So there's people outside of prison who can vote for the inmates' rights,
Right.
if they see fit. So, for example,
And by equations and stuff, they're more educated because they have more material. They can go to speeches. They can do stuff.
Right.
You can't watch a speech in prison.
Frank,
it's not like I can watch the presidential debate in prison.
He's absolutely wrong in what he's saying. All right. He is actually saying because he's in prison and he has 4 family members, they're going to vote on issues that are important to him. You know as well as I do, these specific issues, all right, that we're talking about, only an inmate, all right, is going to know the specific issues because all those issues are buried in legislation. It may be a little sentence
but Frank,
that nobody's going to pick on.
But Frank,
he's got a phone. He's got a phone. He'll pick it up.
For Frank, you're really wrong. You really are. You got to educate yourself on this topic, and I mean this in a friendly way.
We have an inalienable right to vote. Everybody in this country.
No, they don't. Well,
why'd you take the inalienable right away? Who took it away from them?
Can I ask you a question?
Because they fucking committed a crime.
Do you have the right to scream fire in a fucking movie theater?
No.
Thank you.
And
well,
that's
free speech.
Right.
Come on. Inalienable rights is something, yes, I agree. Nobody should be able to just arbitrarily, a free citizen of the United States, take any right away unless it infringes on another person. That's the number thing. And I just looked
How
that
does
up.
the right to vote infringe on another person?
Because the people in that town
that didn't commit a crime.
The analogy you guys draw are absolutely ridiculous. Now I hear fire. All right, that hurts other people. Guns, that hurts other people. The right to vote doesn't hurt anybody. The right to vote should be across the board.
It does hurt people, Frank. You're being very naive about it. Because if you listen, all you have to do then as a politician is say to an inmate, listen, you vote the way I want you to vote, I'm going to cut sentences to everybody. That's my pledge. In other words, it's too easy to maneuver. The reason rape in prison, there can't be no consensual sex in prison. You know that.
There can't be.
There is consensual.
No consensual sex.
There is consensual sex in prison.
But it's not legal. It's
not considered consensual sex. When you have power over another person, there can't be consent.
Yeah, but if two inmates who don't have power over each other want to butt fuck.
But they do.
What?
They do.
But they're consenting to one another, Larry.
But here's my point. When you put a person in a place where there's nowhere else to go, you can't leave the situation. You know, anything out here in the free world, you don't like it, get up out of this fucking room and leave. You don't like it in a town hall meeting, protest, get up, leave, go home, go to fucking Denny's and have a fucking burger. You can't do that in prison. You are at the fucking behest of the guards who tell you you have to be in this room and listen to John Smith speak today. How can you force people to do things and then ask them to make a proper decision? I don't believe in it.
Oh, hold on. I think I'm reading in between the lines here. Are you saying that a prisoner's vote could be skewed based on their environment?
Absolutely.
What do you think about that? That speaks directly to the point.
Okay. Is it any different we have out here in the public?
Absolutely.
We live in an environment where our votes are skewed. You know as well as I do.
Frank, let's compare apples to apples.
Well, I am comparing apples to apples.
How? I'm in the free world, and there's a speech, and the prison makes Larry Lawton go into a hall and hear this guy speak on whatever. And in the free world out here, can they do that?
Yes.
No, they can't.
Have you ever heard of gerrymandering?
Where the fuck is he coming from? Are you fucking brain dead?
You know what they have gerrymandering? All right? You know what they have gerrymandering, don't you?
I love it, dude. I'm sorry. It's fucking
what
entertaining to me.
What gerrymandering is all about, all right, is give a certain group of people, all right, who have similar ideas and similar values the right to make an impact.
Gerrymandering is where you redistrict based. So
and why do you redistrict it? Why do you redistrict it?
Listen, because there might be a housing projects there, and you assume that most of them are Democrats.
No, that's not what you assume. What you assume, what really happens is, and why?
But what does this have to do with an inmate? I don't get that.
We're talking.
No, we're not. I asked you a question.
The influence the right to vote. You say you put them together. All right. All of a sudden, you have this.
Where is he going with gerrymandering?
What gerrymandering is the same thing. What you do with gerrymandering is the unfortunate thing. The African American would lose a lot of rights without gerrymandering. You set up districts so they have. All right.
He talks. Right. I think he talks to hear himself because he makes no sense. If you put everything together, what he's saying, really has no sense.
If you don't have gerrymandering,
what does this have to do with a person going into a hall and listen to fucking John Smith or Pete or
because your rationale, right, doesn't hold any mustard, right? What it really comes down to is you said, well, in jail, all right, you control, all right. The group
is the environment controlled in jail.
Control the right.
I thought you just said on this podcast, and I'll have Benz bring it back, but on this podcast, did you not say that you were scared to leave the prison grounds because you would be sent to United States Penitentiary, Atlanta? Did you say that earlier?
Did
I just asked you a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, so are they controlling your environment?
Who controlling my environment?
The prison. They're telling you.
But are they controlling my vote? They're not controlling my vote.
But could they?
What?
If they control everything else that you do, could they?
As it could happen outside also.
But how could it happen outside?
You don't listen to
outside.
Hold on a second. Hold on. You don't listen to enough of these shows to know that he'll tell you that in prison, when you're sending letters out, and some of them they're not allowed to open, they still know everything that's in that letter. They still treat you. You could be thrown in the hole or the fucking they'll fuck with you.
All mail.
Well,
all male coming and going in prison
that gets back,
at a certain high level.
That gets back to what
one.
I'm saying. The Department of Corrections is a corrupt institution. We know that. Once they move out of the Department of Justice, go into the DOC, it's a corrupt institution.
That's not the argument.
Wait.
How do you change
Frank,
it?
Frank.
How do you change it? You change by the right to
Frank,
vote.
you
change it by the right to vote.
Frank, can I say something, Frank? As an intelligent man, I know you're intelligent, but maybe it's just about fucking long words that nobody else can pronounce. I don't get how you're trying to fucking take a conversation or a debate and bringing it to a totally different fucking area and sitting there believing it.
Your analogies are just as bad. You're saying...
How is my analogy there? We're talking about voting.
You have an analogy. You have a group of inmates, all right, that can be influenced very easily in jail. Well, we're the same thing on the outside. Gerrymandering is the same thing.
I didn't say very easily. I said they can
vote by gerrymandering.
No.
That's
Frank,
what we're doing.
They can't consent to whether or not they want to eat breakfast. They can't consent to whether or not they want to butt fuck. They can't consent to anything, meaning they can't make a decision that isn't part of a group setting, and that's why he's saying the votes would be skewed. Although you and I wouldn't know that because that's a fact. That's something he lived through.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I love that reaction.
Because
you could have said anything else other than he doesn't know what he's talking about.
His mind
people
was
know
skewed.
what
His mind was skewed. Right?
My mind is skewed on prison rights.
Hey,
It's skewed.
If your mind was skewed, then he's making your point.
Yeah, that's true.
If his mind was skewed, then you're making his point. So he was skewed. He's got a
So
certain
how can I
opinion
make
based on
a
being
logical
in there.
decision?
You get legislation. You get legislation.
Way off topic. Here we go.
Maybe
let's
not.
see.
Maybe
Let's
not.
see what lane this goes to. Let's see if this goes to fucking voting rights in fucking Nantucket for fucking fishermen.
I happen to
All I'm
agree
saying is
with.
an inalienable right. We shouldn't take inalienable rights away from.
Please don't do something to my audience. Don't take a word, keep pronouncing it, and saying it's the law of the land.
It's the law of the land. It's in the Constitution.
A lot of things are in the Constitution,
Yeah, the
but they change
Constitution
it.
has a lot of things.
And a lot of amendments.
Taking
Hold on,
your
a lot of
freedom away
amendments.
means taking away some of your rights.
Right.
Some of your rights.
Right.
Okay.
Some of your rights that are harmful to another individual. Right. For instance,
Is that what it says? Is that what it says? When you go to prison, you lose your right to take a gun into prison.
Because that can hurt
Any weapon.
people.
Or any weapon.
Any personal belongings, really. They let you have some.
Right. Okay.
But they choose which ones you get to take.
Let's go there right next step.
Let's go to the next step.
Let's take away his glasses because, we can't get his glasses.
They can't
and
do
now
that.
we can't read.
They can't take your right to eat. They can't. There's certain things that they have to keep you alive and well.
The best thing you guys don't understand is I was in a prison where they were supposed to, by law, and I will tell you what the CFR says. Do you know what the CFR is?
No, I don't know.
Okay. It's called the Code of Federal Regulations. The Code of Federal Regulations.
When you say it like that, I know what it is. When you say CFR, that's some inside
everybody knows
jargon.
No, everybody knows what CFR.
No, only prisoners know what CFR is.
Oh, you're a prisoner.
That's got him.
Bam. What my point, everybody, is this. Right? The CFR says that they have to give you recreation 5 days a week, 1 hour outside in air, natural air. Can't be pumped in from a vent. Has to be natural air.
And that's after your rights have been taken away.
Right. That's if your rights were taken away. But that's in the CFR.
Right.
Now, the CFR is written from the Constitution, actually. See, how the CFR, every agency in the United States, whether it's the FBI or the DEA, they make their policies. They call them policies. They have the BOP policies. Now, the BOP policies come from the Department of Justice's CFR, Code of Federal Regulations. The Code of Federal Regulations are made
Department
from...
of Justice or Department of Corrections?
Who makes it?
Who?
Who makes it?
The Code of Federal Regulations, Department of Justice.
You sure?
100%.
Well, I'm going to have to Google that like you do.
Please do.
And next
Maybe
time,
you'll shut
I'm
up
not
for a
gonna do it
minute
right now.
and stop wasting my time. So here's the thing. They make CFR by the Constitution is what it's supposed to be made by, with people in a room taking, like you said, you don't want a gun.
Question: do they follow it?
No.
They don't even follow the little bit of rights. That
Matter
you
of
get.
fact, I sued the Bureau of Prisons because not only did they violate their own policy, you know what their answer was? We don't have to. Their own policy. I said, okay, I agree. Do you have to follow the CFR, Code of Federal Regulations?
Yes.
Yes. Now, There's some law back and forth that, no, listen, he's right about one thing. The Bureau of Prisons...
everything. Don't start that now. Don't even
right
The
about?
Bureau of Prisons is its own... I mean, they don't give a fuck about it. I mean, they don't... As sad as it is, they don't... They will stop congressmen and senators. Congressmen and senators. 535 people. 100 senators. 435 congressmen in the United States. It's 535 of the most powerful people in the legislative branch will be denied if they go and say, I want to go into that prison and inspect it.
Can't.
No.
Can't.
That is a problem. There's no oversight. True. Now they say there is,
because inmates don't have the right to vote.
You know what they say? They
Assuming that was on the ballot, that would be something prisoners and their families would vote for.
That's right.
And it still would, but it still wouldn't matter. They're not following what is in there already.
A simple solution. If a senator can't come in, all right, or
this is about voting rights.
The prisoners basically
and we
get
need
together,
young people to get
right?
out there and vote, and he's fucking them up.
You think Senator Schumer? You think Senator Schumer wouldn't kiss the ass of every
Why do
guy
you say who
from
said
New
it?
York that's in jail? All right, if he knew that he had a voting right and he's going to protect his rights, he's going to protect his rights as far as having activities. He's going to protect his rights, as you know as well as I do. They took gyms, they took weights out of prisons. All right, in which guys.
Frank, you're making no sense because if the study they did right, and I believe it, and everybody believes it, and it's used widely.
How do you believe something from an institution that's
not
corrupt?
from an institution about the equation of votes? Again, okay, instead of 5, you got 4. If an inmate can vote and I affect 4 votes, what's the difference? I mean, if there's something so egregious, you think my parents...
If you affect 4 votes, there's 3 million prisoners, and you affect 4 votes for each.
2.3 million, and it's 4 votes.
I'm sorry.
I told you it's 9 million votes. You can win a presidential election that way. That is the reason you don't ever hear politicians come out and say, I want to build prisons. We need to build more prisons. No, they never say that. You know why? Because now it's political suicide. There was a time when you wanted to be tough on crime. David, we're in the middle of a podcast, bro.
The real deal, baby. No, we're just wearing these headphones for
you want to get on
for fashion.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, today
your brother is fuck.
It's your brother, by the way. It wasn't my brother that walked through.
Yeah, you're confused.
I'm mentally.
I got you in a situation in which you don't know really what you're talking about, so you're all confused. You don't even know it was your brother that walked through. Let me tell you something.
He misses the joke of his brother.
Yeah.
Listen, people.
What you were trying to say about young voters is that they need to go out there and start making a difference, especially if they believe in things. They could change things in prison, to your point.
Young people are the answer, and I'll tell you why.
I have a big problem with young people that just surfaced yesterday at lunch. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
About voting, you mean?
Exactly.
About what? Well, the voting. I wasn't paying attention.
Young people in
when
politics.
Frank talks at lunch, I don't pay attention.
Young people in politics who are following a narrative that's old school, meaning they're not going to make a change over time because they're afraid to lose votes. I know you're not going to agree with me on that one, Frank. But the fact of the matter is that yesterday, and I'm not going to.
You got a point.
I'm not going to get into it. Young politicians are going to make all the difference in the world if they have young voters behind them, because as young people, younger generation, they have a similar stance on where things should be, right? That's why we live in a somewhat of a conservative country, right? Because we have the old Christian mindset that was voted in. I mean, we're getting better. We're more liberal as time goes on.
Remember, we were founded on Judeo-Christian ethics. Judeo-Christian ethics in this country.
Okay.
All right? That's
So
the problem.
what is Judeo-Christian ethics?
What?
Tell me what Judeo-Christian
Well, basically what it came down to...
No, I just want to define Judeo-Christian values.
What really went on is people
He's
left,
give him a second.
Okay.
people left Europe for the reason that there was no religious freedoms in Europe. Right. So how do you have religious freedoms in this country?
When was there no religious freedoms in Europe?
There weren't. That's why.
They had the churches. We were colonized this place. We didn't just come from the religion.
You don't know your history. The reason why this country was founded, all right, was to escape, all right.
Because they wanted to take, it was the Tea Party. It's called taxation without representation.
No, that was the one that founded. The reason why
That's the reason, by the way, that the reason we fucked the Brits over and the reason we pushed them out is exactly right, because we didn't want to pay their taxes.
But the reason why
Exactly,
people
without representation.
The reason why people were leaving Europe was because they lost all their religious
What do you mean
freedoms.
people were leaving Europe?
They lost all their freedoms.
He's right. Certain places in Europe, you had to be Christian or you could be slaughtered for it.
Absolutely, and that goes around the whole world.
So when
right.
we found
There were places in the United States the same fucking
happens-
way.
Still
Wait a
happens
minute.
today.
Wait a minute. The reason why there's some places in the United States is because you had some of the assholes that came over from Europe that wanted to take the same philosophy over here and follow that bullshit. All right, but the Constitution, Jefferson was very smart to cross all lines, Judeo-Christian, and that basically covers.
Where was Muslims? Where was Muslims?
Judeo-Christian religion
Where was Muslim?
In
He
the
said
Middle
every
East.
religion.
In the Middle East.
in the Middle East.
Well, I'm saying, but he said every religion.
They weren't in Europe.
What? Who wasn't in Europe?
The Muslims were in Europe.
Okay, now there were no Muslims at all in Europe.
There were, just like there were everything else. My point is,
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You
If
couldn't
the
have a
United
mosque.
States was coming here to be a melting pot, if the United States was bringing everybody here,
to have your religious freedom.
Have religious freedom.
then why wouldn't it be all religion?
And they were given religious freedom because in the Constitution. it
You're
does
saying
say-
what he's saying.
You're saying what I'm saying.
He's saying Judeo-Christian.
They use the word Judeo-Christian because, Muslim wasn't a term.
I
back
love
then.
I love to hear him work a word and try to bullshit it.
No, it's not bullshit. We were founded on religious freedoms. That's the reason why this country was founded. It wasn't founded because of the Tea Party, all right? That was part of it to break off from England. But it wasn't founded because of the Tea Party. People were escaping Europe because they did not have religious freedom. Bingo. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Now, did some people come here, form their own colonies, and say, well, you take the Dutch, all right, and you say, okay, here we have the Dutch, and they get their strict religions, and they eliminated this in this particular area and passed these laws. And you had the people up in Utah that allowed polygamy and all that stuff. And that wasn't proper for them to do that. We chipped away at all those freedoms because they were violating the
Frank,
Constitution.
you said a lot of bullshit. It was so wrong. I gotta stop you before you fucking really pollute brains. I asked you one question. Can you please give me the definition of Judeo-Christian?
He has it pulled up. Watch out.
Yeah, he pulled it out. He Googles everything.
I just ask him.
What is it?
I'm asking him. He's the one who used the word.
What the word?
He uses words. He has not a fucking clue what they mean.
What Judeo-Christian meant, they tried to cross every boundary of every religion that existed at that time, right? And
You are so far off.
okay, Google it. Okay, you Google. Use your Google.
Well, you know why I did it? Because everybody on this fucking channel is going to do the same fucking thing.
What does it say?
Read it.
Judeo. The term Judeo-Christian is used to group Christianity and Judaism together, period. Either in reference to Christianity's derivation from Judaism.
I can tell you what it is in simple words.
Hold on. Christianity's borrowing of the Jewish scripture.
Right.
To constitute the Old Testament.
Any religion that believes in
Right.
the Old Testament. That's what I was going to say.
Of the Christian Bible, or due to the parallels of commonalities in Jews, and Christians' ethics shared. Had not one fucking thing about another religion and getting them all together and all becoming here, did it?
No, that's what it didn't do, right? Is that what you're saying?
Okay.
It's going against that.
Don't put the right.
I'm just
shit
trying to
in there.
make sense
He
of
has
it.
not a fucking
There's
clue.
no doubt that
I'm just trying to make sense of things.
there's no doubt.
You're trying to make sense of him.
Of all of it.
No,
Yeah.
I gotta ask you
There's
now.
no doubt- there's
You're
no
trying
doubt-
to make sense of him.
There's no doubt.
Wait, don't laugh. The camera's catching you.
I'm trying to make sense of it. Yeah.
Frank.
In 17,
76.
17, but Jefferson, before that, 1769, basically, really. But Jefferson tried to cross all boundaries to get rid of the religious persecution in Europe. All right? Okay. Judeo-Christian basically crossed, at that time, all of the genres of religion. But
No.
Wait a minute, let me finish.
So
Let me
he
finish.
is so far off.
But
Do you know how far off he
the
is?
Bill of Rights changed that. The Bill of Rights basically gave
Constitution.
freedom of religion to
Bill of Rights is
everybody.
just the first 10.
They
But he
grew-
doesn't
they-
understand that.
I know what the Bill of Rights are. And I knew it gave the right to religion to everybody. You can't be discriminating on your religion. You can't be discriminating if you don't have a religion. There are atheists out there. You can't be discriminating on the atheists, right? You can't discriminate on religion. Judeo-Christian.
What is
at
that, Frank?
point.
What is that?
What is what now?
What you just said. That's just one fucking amendment of the Constitution of the Bill of Rights. Or the Bill of Rights is the first 10, and then there's 27 right now.
I know that quite
Okay, my point to you is you are fucking way the fuck out of whack.
You have no idea. I'm basically telling people that everybody should have.
Did you
right
like
to vote.
watch like Gunsmoke or some shit and hear this from Ben Cartwright or something?
I watch Gunsmoke every night.
What is it, Bonanza?
I watch Gunsmoke every night.
For the listeners, these are some fucking antique shows that we don't know anything about.
Good one, Ben. Frank is great at this. I noticed this. He's like what I call the older generation, and I mean this in a good way. In a good way. Frank gets a newspaper and reads the headlines and then surmises everything else. And it means nothing.
By the way, 90% of the fucking country
True.
does the same.
Do I do that?
Except they
do
don't
I do that?
No. Except they don't do it in the paper. They do it online.
You don't read the newspaper.
Oh, I do.
I read 3 newspapers a day.
No. You read 3 headlines of the newspapers every day.
I can tell you what's going on.
No. Listen, when fair's fair, he comes to me with articles all the time.
Yeah.
He knows the content of the articles.
Again.
And he does read 3 papers a day. I've known this motherfucker for 10 years.
Again, he perouses 3 papers a day.
No, he reads the local completely. He does. He reads, and it's short. He reads the local completely, and then he browses 2 of the big, the 2 of the big ones in the United States to kind of know what's going on in the main news. So I'll give you that.
Here's what his problem is, though. Here's his problem. He shouldn't be reading. What do you read? The New York Times, Wall Street Journal?
Yes.
New York Times, Wall Street Journal. And
Here's
Florida
why
Today.
you shouldn't do that. You know what you should read? BBC.
All right.
NPR.
Why?
Because it gives you a different worldview. Our stuff gives you a
nonsense.
Again, unless it's local.
Skewed view. It's a skewed view.
What?
It's probably
Fuck the BBC.
It's probably
You don't think the Wall Street Journal's a skewed view?
They all are.
They all
It's got
are.
to be written by a
Wait
person
minute,
who's got an agenda.
It's probably the only thing since it's sitting at this table that you said that was correct, right? because
Hey guys, out there,
wait a minute. Let me finish my
I
comment.
might just kick his fucking ass after this.
Let me finish my comment. All right, you know as well as I do. All right, there are no more Edward R. Murrows out there. Edward R. Murrow, anybody doesn't know that, was a journalist from CBS.
Who was he?
Edward R. Murrow.
I never heard of him.
He was a journalist
before my time.
Before your time, he was a journalist from
I knew who he
CBS
was.
that reported the news. With
no agenda.
Right, with no agenda. Right
Yeah,
now,
I don't believe that either.
Right now, you have Fox, CNN, MSNBC. All right, they are sensationalists. All right,
First of all,
How dare you
they're not journalists.
How dare you say that news, whenever it was, written by men, is not going to be skewed?
Thank you. Not only what he's
Our conversation here, although you two I know politically align very well, look at how much you're arguing over the dumbest shit. So if
The right to vote isn't a dumb shit.
it's not, that's
my
not
topic.
what you're arguing.
When I
that's
picked
just
that
a topic.
No, when I picked the topic, because we have a very important vote coming up. Obviously, the midterm elections in a presidential election for the United States. Period. Anybody out there in the other world, it's a big deal because it controls the House and Senate of the United States.
Let me tell you how important it is. On my way here, I stopped for gas because I wanted to get a penny less per gallon because we released our reserves. Now that's a great political move for the midterms. You release your reserves. Not saying, all right, what the profit.
It means nothing.
That's right. Not saying, all right, but it means something because the president's done something about the gas taxes. Not saying, let's have a moratorium on federal and state taxes on gas. You know that brings down the price of gas if you do that? It brings down the price of gas 50 to 70 cents per gallon. Just if you do that. You have a moratorium. These poor people can't go to work because of gas.
Stop, Benz.
It was $5.39. Diesel was $5.39. This country lives on trucks going across the country, all right, delivering your food. $5.39 means your loaf of bread is going to go up 5%. Means that every price we have a
See,
problem.
all of that, what you're saying, I get, but that means zero to me. What really means more to me is these fuckers raising the tax on cigars.
That is a fucking problem, man.
Right? Now we got a real problem.
I don't want to get into this conversation because it's a long one and we already ate the whole show up. We're about to finish. But I will say this. As far as voting goes, I agree with you that prisoners should have some voting. Hold on.
We're all going to get our opinion here.
Difference of
Frank
opinion.
agrees that Frank wants everybody. Let's get this set before we
Everybody's able to vote.
Frank, your opinion. Everybody should be able to vote.
Can I speak after him rather than you speaking to me?
No. It goes you, him, and I'm
He went
last.
first. He went first. I'm going to go second.
Okay,
Go ahead.
good. What is your view on the voting of prisoners?
I think they should have the right to vote.
And why?
Well, the reason is because I think they can make a difference. There's 2.3 million prisoners, like you said. They can make a difference. In my opinion, they should be able to vote on issues that have to do with them, especially on federal issues. Maybe, it might be too much of a headache to do the residential thing based on where they're from and all that. I get that. Because a lot of prisoners, can be homeless. So what do? You go by the county they were arrested in. That's not necessarily right because it's not the right county. So that county would get an unfair vote, like he was saying. People that move in and don't really know the area, don't really understand local politics, however they are voting. So I think they should have some sort of federal vote. They should say whether or not we have this president, that president, or the other.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Yes.
Done. You're next.
I'm a constitutionalist. I believe that you have an inalienable right to vote. I think that you would have senators and Congress people and the guys running for president, all right, have to cater to people that are hurt in this country more than anybody else. And you know as I do, Mr. Lawton, that prisoners are mistreated. Prisoners, because you supposedly lose your rights, all right, that means everybody has a right to basically stamp on all your rights, basically destroy everything you have. Your right as a human being. All right.
Your right as a human being is to eat and to not be tortured and all that stuff, which is already in place. They might not do all these things.
They
but
are
those
being
things
tortured.
No, Frank, you can't say they have all their fucking rights. How can you give them all their rights? Where's the punitive part of all their rights?
Every right. First of all, it shouldn't be a. That's
punitive in the
That's
charter?
a word I don't like. All right, that's a word I don't like. The prison system should not be punitive. It should be rehabilitative. It shouldn't be punitive.
So if you're a fucking murderer, right?
There should be no punitive. There should be no
Wait a
punishment.
minute. If you're a murderer, all right, if you don't get the death sentence, the punitive part is.
Oh, you believe in the death sentence?
Do I believe in the
You're
death
a
sentence?
constitutionalist. You
You're
just said it.
constitutionalist.
Yes, I do. All right. Yes, I do.
This
I
is,
believe
yeah.
Yes, I do. All right.
Okay.
So what it really comes down to, if you're not given a death sentence, right, your punitive part is that you will never see daylight with the exception of that 1 hour a day of seeing daylight.
There you go, rights.
That's punitive in itself. All right. But you are given the right to see daylight 1 hour a day if you're a very, very violent criminal, as he can attest.
Because it's humane.
But the only way you're going to see changes in the Department of Corrections.
Stop, Larry.
The only way you're going to see changes in the Department of Corrections is give the prisoners the right to vote, right? Give them the right to vote. Then you'll have the senators and the congressmen who will want access to them and get their views. What's going on in your prison? What's going on? And he attested to it. A senator cannot walk into a prison, all right, and look around and find out what's going on and interview the prisoners without the prisoners getting tortured. Right?
Well, without the warden making sure that the one day that he's walking through, everything looks like peachy as hell.
Absolutely. So you got to give them the right to vote, where the Department of Corrections, all right, can be brought on the carpet, right, and saying, listen, these rights, these people voted for these rights, and you're not living up to them.
Listen, I get it. I
So
get what you're saying.
I'm
what are you
not-
reading over there? What are you becoming the expert on?
If an inalienable right, okay, you don't take a right. You can take a right away that's going to hurt somebody else, like calling fire.
All right, we heard you.
And a gun and all that stuff. I agree with that. I don't have gun rights. I'm a non-violent crime person. I had an IRS.
You feel like you should have him?
I have an IRS.
Him?
violation. Yes,
No.
I should have my gun
Just because
rights.
he's a whack job.
I don't have my gun rights. Right? It bothers me.
Best
I don't have
thing
my
they
gun
ever
rights.
did.
I was a non-violent criminal.
Did you own guns previous to going to jail?
I owned guns previously. I don't have a gun right now. Right?
Did you?
No, I didn't have a gun previously.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
I wasn't a gun supporter.
Right.
All right. But what it really comes down to, the fact that I don't have a right,
You're liberal by nature. Can I say that?
I'm probably liberal by nature.
I think. I mean, I've talked to you enough. I think I know.
But, the fact that I don't have a gun right bothers me because it's a right that shouldn't be taken away from me as a non-violent criminal.
Right. All right, Larry.
Thank you very much.
Summarize the show. Tell us your opinion.
Yeah, I got to listen. I apologize to my audience
For what?
for fucking the guy next to me. I just
It's
got
that bad, huh? Your opinion, it doesn't align with both of ours. I know it's not.
no.
You don't think
no,
they should
no,
have
I'm
voting.
only joking. I love when Frank is here.
Obviously.
He's fucking getting batshit more crazy.
Yeah, listen,
You know?
being wrong is one thing. Being wrong is we can keep things in their own side.
Being wrong or being right.
Depends on who you ask, apparently.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. We have a right in this country to
I'm
voice our,
glad I'm closing
to
this
voice,
up.
to voice our opinion. But you can't voice your opinion unless you have the right to vote.
Frank argues like he's on the fucking news on CNN. You know, they yell at the same time.
But
Go ahead.
he's probably just about CNN because you can't understand those fuckers and they don't make any sense either. Okay, he has his opinion. I get what he's saying, but he's all over the place. There's no really constructive way to say, okay, this is what we should do, why we should do it, why an inmate can vote.
Sure, Larry. It's more complicated than we allude,
Right.
for sure.
If you're going to interrupt him, I'm going to interrupt him. Let him do his piece.
I wasn't interrupting him. I was talking into him. Go ahead.
Wow. David, where are you? I need Ukraine.
I need to talk. Drop it.
I need fucking David. What's going on in Ukraine, please? No, seriously.
war in
My
Ukraine,
my opinion is I think every person who completes their sentence, and I do not mean probation, I do not mean restitution or fines. Any man who is free by what we call free. Here's how I judge who should get the right to vote. It's the same as taxation without representation. I, as a ex-felon who cannot vote because of excessive fines, should not pay taxes because I am not being represented. I'm being taxed without being represented. That's what taxation without representation is because of that. Because I'm out here paying taxes.
Do you pay taxes in prison?
No.
What if you still have income?
Well, that's a whole. Your estate does, or your wife does.
Then you're being taxed.
That they are. There's others involved. So there's a whole different thing. There's money in trust. There's a whole thing that goes on with that kind of stuff. We had a rich guy that actually had.
If you have an IRA or a Roth IRA,
let me just piggyback on that a little bit.
I thought I'm fucking closing this up.
You pay taxes here, right?
Yes.
You look at if you look at tax bills, about 50% towards education.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have any kids. Why should I pay taxes towards education?
Well, you did have kids. And
I don't have kids. I pay taxes when I had kids. Why should I pay 50% of my taxes to education? All right,
because education further moves your community along.
And not only that,
well, doesn't the right to vote on every issue move your community along?
Well, you know, what you're trying to do, Frank, and one thing is wrong. You're trying to break down what we should pay tax. I don't believe we should pay taxes for the DEA, for the NSA, for the CIA.
You can't cut that. They just tell you they're taking tax. They're not telling you how they're going to spend it.
Right, exactly. So that I get. You know, I understand that point of it. And I would love to be able to, okay, I can pay taxes. How much do I owe? I want to put it towards education, or I want to put it towards buildings, or whatever the fuck I want to do.
Which I don't agree with.
You just flipped.
All right. We heard it. Finish the fucking thing. All right.
You're a so-called libertarian. All right. You're a so-called libertarian. You're paying taxes. Should your tax dollars go for $50 billion? Although I support the Ukraine war, should it go to give Ukraine?
You support
the Ukraine war?
You support it. How do you support it if you're not approving of the money?
I'm basically saying, if you're a libertarian, do you think we should spend $50 billion over the past few months on Ukraine war?
This is a separate conversation altogether.
It's a totally separate conversation. Let me get right to the issue, everybody. As a man who knows prison, knows prisons, and knows the judiciary and the fucking Department of Justice and the CFR.
You know the difference between Department of Justice and Department of Corrections?
Do I know the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Department of Justice has nothing to do with prisons.
Wrong.
Nothing to do with it.
Did you know?
You Google that tomorrow.
Did you know the Bureau of Prisons works for the Department of Justice?
Do you realize once you leave the Department of Justice,
He has not a fucking
that
clue.
the Department of Corrections has total control over your life?
Did you just hear what I said?
I heard what you said, but in reality, that's not what happens.
You can't fucking. It makes no sense. All right. my opinion, everybody, and you can take it for what it's worth. I don't believe an inmate should vote for too many ways that things can be maneuvered and areas can be hit and stuff of that nature. They do it in Vermont, so it must work. So I'm not going to say it's totally wrong. Maybe there's more I don't know about it. I'll admit that. Maybe somebody else won't. But I will say this. I think every person who is walking on free property, how's that, should have the ability to vote. Period.
All right. That's everybody said their opinions and the reason why. Let's
Right. All right, everybody,
Thank you, Larry.
we had fun. I need a fucking nap. And Ukraine news is coming Monday.
Yeah, Monday you'll hear
we
about
have a
the
great
Ukraine.
guest with Andy Fine next Friday. Don't miss that. And I'm going to ask him some good questions. He's an intelligent guy. Thanks, Frank. You know that. We have a lot of fun. Ben's, great to have you back. Everybody's feeling
to
a
be
little
back.
better. Please, everybody, check out all our websites. Check out our cigar. Check everything out. And do the number one thing I say every fucking video. Please make good choices. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe.